Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a book that basically flipped the script on everything we're taught about money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We're going to break down its core lessons into a powerful blueprint for, well, financial intelligence. Let's get right into it. But let me start by asking you something. Do you ever feel like you're just on a hamster wheel? You work harder and harder, you get paid, you pay your bills, and then the whole cycle just starts over again? Rich Dad, Poor Dad has a name for this. It calls it the rat race. It's this trap that's fueled by both the fear of not having enough money and the desire to buy more stuff, and it keeps millions of people completely stuck. So why are we still talking about a book that came out decades ago? Because its message was, and still is, a direct challenge to all that conventional financial wisdom. It made people question everything, the idea of a safe job, whether your home is really a good investment, the whole path to getting wealthy. And the impact was just immediate. When it came out in 1997, it was a total bombshell. Fast forward to today, it's sold over 32 million copies. And honestly, its lessons feel more relevant than ever. This isn't just some book about finance, it's really a story about two completely different ways of looking at the world. And that's really the heart of the whole thing, this story of two father figures, each with a radically different mindset about money. Understanding this powerful contrast is basically the key to unlocking everything the book has to teach us. So here's a fundamental conflict. You've got the poor dad, the author's actual father, who is this brilliant, highly educated academic who, ironically, always struggled with money. His entire worldview was just defined by scarcity. And on the other side, you have the rich dad, his friend's father, who was an 8th grade dropout but went on to build an empire. Why? Because he understood how money really works. And that brings us to the very first lesson from Rich Dad, and it's probably the most important one in the whole book. It's the golden rule, the one concept that, according to the author, is the single biggest thing that separates the rich from everybody else. And it all boils down to this incredibly simple idea. An asset puts money in your pocket. Think of things like rental income from a property or stock dividends. A liability, on the other hand, takes money out of your pocket, like a car payment or your credit card bill. The wealthy spend their lives acquiring assets. The rest of us, well, we tend to buy liabilities that we think are assets. And this leads us to the book's most controversial idea. Your house is not an asset. Now, why would he say that? Because it's a constant drain on your money. You've got the mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs. Money is always flowing out. A rental property, though, that is an asset because it's generating income every month. The rule is just dead simple. If it doesn't make you money, it's a liability. Okay, so if the name of the game is acquiring assets, how exactly do you do that? The next lesson is a simple but really powerful command. Mind your own business. And here's a really critical distinction the book makes. Your job is not your business. Your job, your profession, is what pays the bills. Your business, on the other hand, is your asset column, all the things you own that are generating income for you. The strategy here isn't to quit your day job. It's to use your day job to fund your real business. The McDonald's story is the perfect example of this. The founder, Ray Kroc, used to love asking business students what business McDonald's was in. And of course, they'd all say hamburgers, and he'd always reply, wrong. See, McDonald's isn't in the hamburger business, it's in the real estate business. The burgers just pay the mortgage on all that valuable property. But look, buying assets and building a business, it isn't just about spreadsheets and making deals. The final, and maybe the most crucial lesson, is all about the one tool that controls everything, your mind. It's about making a really profound shift in the way you think. The poor dad's mindset is to say, I can't afford it. And that's it. It's a statement that just shuts down your brain, closes all the doors. But the rich dad's mindset is to ask a question, how can I afford it? That question forces your brain to get creative and find solutions. One is a dead end, the other is a beginning. The poor dad says something like, I have kids, so I can't take risks. It becomes an excuse. The rich dad says, I have kids, so I must build wealth. It becomes his motivation. See, it's not your circumstances that define your financial future. It's your mindset about those circumstances. So what's the whole point of all this? What's the end game? It's reaching what the book calls the tipping point. That's the magical moment when the income from your assets becomes greater than your monthly expenses. That right there is financial freedom. That's how you finally get off the hamster wheel and escape the rat race for good. So, to wrap it all up, what are the key takeaways? Let's just run through the 5 big pillars. First, make your money start working for you, not the other way around. Second, you have to know the difference between an asset and a liability. Third, invest in your own financial education. Fourth, mind your own business, build that asset column. And finally, number 5, never ever say, I can't. Always ask, how can I? And we'll leave you with this one last question to think about, a question that really gets to the very heart of the entire rich dad, poor dad philosophy. Your job is important, absolutely. It pays your bills, it keeps the lights on, but what are you building? What are you building for your future? What is your asset column doing for you?